Good morning, I'm Joanna Hester, the Chair of the San Diego Housing Commission Board of Audit Committee. It is 10:30, and I'm calling to order the special meeting of the Audit Committee. We are meeting in person this morning with committee members and staff and members of the public in attendance. We have a quorum with two committee members who are present. Thank you, Commissioner Klumpner. Video of today's meeting is also being streamed live online. The link to watch today's meeting is on the Housing Commission's website at www.sdhc.org. Members of the public who wish to provide comments to the committee will need to complete a speaker slip here in the boardroom and submit it to our Vice President of Communications, Scott Marshall, who is standing at the side of the boardroom. To speak in favor of any items on today's agenda, please submit the gold-colored form. To speak in opposition to any agenda item, please submit the pink-colored form. Those who wish to address the committee about the topic that is not on the agenda should fill out a white speaker request form. Members of the public will have 3 minutes each to provide their comments about agenda items on non-agenda public comments. However, if a large number of people wish to provide non-agenda public comments or speak on a single agenda item, comments will be limited to 1 minute each. Collective testimony by those who support or oppose an item shall be limited to no more than 15 minutes total per side. When I call your name, please step up to the podium, state your name for the record, and begin making your comments. We will now proceed with the non-agenda public comment. There are no speaker slips have been submitted for non-agenda public comment at this time. So next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the Audit Committee November 2 meeting. It doesn't appear as though there is any speaker have been submitted regarding the minutes. So do any committee members have any changes to the minutes, or do we have a motion?
So moved.
Wonderful. A motion has been made by Commissioner Klumpner and second by me to approve the minutes of the audit's November 2, 2022 meeting. I'll say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Nobody. Great. The motion carries unanimously. Item number 11, item 100 is the independent auditor's report and presentation. We will take public comments after the independent auditor's presentation. Our Chief Financial Officer, Suket Dayal, will be introducing this item. Please begin when you're ready, sir.
Thank you, Chair Hester, and good morning, Commissioners and Council. Great pleasure to introduce this item. There's always a sense of, I'm not going to say anxiety, but fear that comes with the word audit. But I do want to take this opportunity to commend our partners, Cohn Resnick. They thank them for all their help and guidance. This item will be presented by Amadou Bokar and Jackie Tang from Cohn Resnick. This is a summary of the audit findings for the year ending June 30th, 2023, whenever you guys are ready.
Thank you very much. My name is Amadou Alain Bokar, and I'm the audit partner from Cohn Resnick for the San Diego Housing Commission engagement. And I'm here with Jackie Tang, who is the senior manager, and we will just go through a brief summary presentation of the results of the audit, and we are here to, after that, to answer any questions or comments you may have for us.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you, Amadou. As we're kind of pulling up the slides here, we're going to present the audit results for the fiscal year end June 30th, 2023. Scott, if you could go to the next slide. Oh, there you go. We're going to opine on a clean, unmodified opinion. This is across the portfolio. This is the Public Housing Agency, the single audit report, which is the report all the over federal expenditures, and including the LLC. So it's a clean sweep all across. There's no material weakness or significant deficiencies over the financial numbers. This includes the compliance of internal controls as well. A couple items you'll see included in the financial package. The first being the accounting policies and estimates you'll see included in our financial report. First being the loan portfolio. This is the note receivable held by the public agency, and then depreciation over the capital assets and any accrued compensation absences. This is set policies and estimates set by the management team. One big change that we're going to highlight, just included in our report, is the adoption of GASB 96. Effectively, this is the same as the lease accounting in prior year. They we didn't put, the report includes all the subscription-based arrangements onto the balance sheet. In the current year, it was close to $5 million. It's not material overall position, but that's the big highlight for the year. And then just to wrap it up here, no difficulties with management. The management team and the finance team has been a great partner throughout the years. It's kind of our, Suket calls us our Super Bowl, but here we are, right? And then to reiterate, no audit adjustments, no past adjustments, clean from the finance team across the portfolio. But we're here for any questions that you may or may not have. Perfect.
Thank you.
So we can just roll into 101, if that's okay with you, Chair.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
So this item will be presented by Christelle Vanderwint, our Vice President of Financial Operations, and Tracy Bryson, our Manager of Audit and Reporting. As Mr. Tang mentioned, auditors can choose from 4 opinions, and we're very pleased with the unmodified opinion. It means our financial statements are presented fairly in all material aspects. They're also prepared in accordance with all financial reporting framework. Can we go to the next slide, please? And the next slide. Just a quick, we did talk about this, the subscription-based information technology arrangements. It is, the Government Accounting Standards Board does come up with, every now and then, with new requirements and pronouncements, which we have implemented. A couple of years ago, it was the leases that had to be implemented. This year was all the subscription technologies. It is a lot of work on the back end of it. Again, you're kind of recording it as an asset and then taking it out as a liability. So the net doesn't make a big difference, but it does require a lot of work to kind of come up with a number. And before I pass it on to Tracy, I just want to commend the team and thank them for all the hard work. It's a great opinion, and it does take a village. And with that, pass it on to Tracy.
Thank you, Saket, and good morning. I would like to share our financial results summary. In fiscal year 2023, the San Diego Housing Commission received more than $463 million in revenue, and expenses were approximately $419 million. This pie graph shows 2023 revenues by funding type: federal, local, and state. We continue to receive a significant portion of our revenues from federal sources. Funds from both HUD, the U.S. Treasury, and the U.S. Treasury were more than $352 million, of which represents 76% of our total revenue. Here we have a quick comparison in revenues between FY 2023 and FY 2022. We see a decrease in the grant revenue, which includes housing assistance grants. These are the orange and dark blue colored blocks on the bar graph. This is primarily a result of wrapping up the Housing Stability Assistance Program, referred to as HSAP, in early FY 2023. And to look at expenses over the 2 years. The large decrease seen in housing assistance and smaller decrease in operating expenses are a result also of the conclusion of the HSAP program early in fiscal year 2023. And with that, I will pass it to Christelle.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, thank you. So this graph depicts our assets, liabilities, deferred inflows, and net position, which is also known as our balance sheet for fiscal year 23 and 22. You can see in the bar graph that the general...
Can I interrupt for one? I'm
Yes.
sorry. I just have a quick question here, and I don't know which of you would answer this, but when we have forgivable loans that we issue to projects that come to us when we're approving projects, where do those, are those assets or liabilities?
Don't take that.
So, Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are assets as we record those as a notes receivable until the terms of the forgivable loan are met throughout the period.
Got it. Interesting. So even though the expectation is that that the terms will be met, they still show up as an asset until that occurs.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
So back to this graph, the top section is our assets, and the Commission continues to have over $1 billion in assets. The bottom section is your liabilities, deferred inflows, and net position. Net position is the agency's accumulated net worth since inception. This is the net value of all the agency's assets if they were liquidated and outstanding debts and obligations were paid. This slide highlights the major changes in our financial position as compared to last year. The most noteworthy change was the 14% decrease that you see in the total liabilities. This was a result of the retirement and partial paydown of the loans listed. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide some additional detail in relation to the net position categories as designated by the Government Accounting Standard Board, also referred to as GASB. Net investment in capital asset, this is our brick and mortars, our properties. Cost acquisition plus building improvement less depreciation or any loans outstanding on the assets. Restricted position is primarily made up of loans receivable that are federally backed. And as required by GASB accounting definition, the remaining balance must be classified as unrestricted net position for financial reporting purposes. However, this classification is not indicative that these funds are available for discretionary use. This slide further breaks down the unrestricted net position by categories. Here you can see there is no additional funds available for use. About $292 million is for existing affordable housing loans. $134 million is committed by board resolution and the 2024 budget obligations, with about $15 million set aside as a contingency reserve. And finally, this leaves us with $11 million for property replacement reserves, which are to be used for maintaining over 2,000 SDHC owned units. Now I'd like to go over a few operational highlights for the year. In addition to providing housing assistance to more than 17,000 families, the Rental Assistance Division provided mobility counseling and assistance, security deposit loans to help family move to community with more opportunities. The award-winning Achievement Academy helped participants find jobs as well as increase earnings. Now for the real estate division activity. You can see a long list of new affordable development. There was a total of 690 affordable units that were created through housing partnership development in the past year. The Housing Commission's commitment to fight homelessness has helped support many successful programs that align with the city's action plan on homelessness. Through fiscal year 23, the Housing Commission has worked to expand their presence in relation to homelessness by launching the Housing Instability Prevention Program, which helped pay rent and other housing-related expenses for families with low income and unstable housing situation, such as facing eviction for non-payment of rent. The Housing Commission has also expanded the Prevention and Diversion Program and is continuing to be a strong partner in addressing shelter needs. And finally, we'd like to conclude by highlighting that we continue to receive Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the past 15 years for the annual comprehensive financial report and the past 13 years for our popular annual financial reports. And we'd like to thank the Audit Committee for their support, and we're here and available for questions. Thank you.
Are there any speakers? No speakers. Our next item on the agenda is item number 102. Oh, is there any question from you? Okay.
Already asked mine.
Item 102 on the agenda is this committee's recommendation to the board commissioner regarding the approval of the annual report and audit reports. The public has been provided with the opportunity to provide comments on the auditor's report and the chief financial officer summary and presentation for items 100 and 101. So we will proceed now with the committee member questions and comments, which there isn't any. Do we have any motion to recommend that the Housing Commission Board Commissioners accept the approve the fiscal year 2023 annual comprehensive financial report and single audit reports?
So moved.
Second, there is a motion, it's a unanimous vote, absolutely. The next item on the agenda is item 103 about Housing Commission Management conducting a request for proposal process for auditing services and entering into a contract with the selected firm. We will take this public comment after we hear from Chief Financial Officer Suket Tuyal on this item. Please begin when you're ready.
Good morning again. This is not an action item, as mentioned. This is just an information item. We just wanted to inform you that we will soon undergo a request for proposal for as our current contract for audit services expires in March. As we mentioned throughout the presentations, our financial statements need to be audited by a firm of licensed certified public accountants. The goal of the audit is to provide reasonable assurance that our statements for the fiscal year are free of material misstatements. So we'll most probably return in January. With the recommendation, we'll walk you through our selection process and provide a recommendation for an applicant. If the amount exceeds a certain dollar amount, then we will have to take it to the board as well for approval, but otherwise we'll bring it back to you in January for approval.
Thank you. I have a question. Are we obligated, and not that I'm dissatisfied with our current auditor, but I think for auditing purposes, changes in the auditor, is there a particular rule we have to follow about changing or?
So from a procurement perspective, it's best practice.
Yes.
Once the contract runs out, to go ahead and take it out there and
RFP again.
And RFP it again.
I see.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
I was sort of wondering the same thing. I think I was more curious if there's best practices around changing the auditors, just so that our wonderful auditors who've done a great job aren't people looking at the same numbers every year. And is that or?
So I think it's a balance, and I don't want to take from the RFP process, so I'm going to say based on what is provided in the RFP and their comments, we can then bring it and have more of a discussion in January on it. There's definitely certain strengths of someone that understands our industry, certain strengths and that understands our business. We are complicated. We're not as simple as many agencies are, but there might be others also out there, firms that can provide the same services and that are providing it for other housing authorities. So we definitely want to put out an RFP and see what's out there.
So we do RFP annually?
No,
I see, every 5 years.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I got it. I'm clear. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
And that is something that I think I recommend also for best practices. So I'm glad that we're doing that. Any other questions or comments? So this concludes the Audit Committee special meeting today. This meeting is now adjourned at 10:49. Thank you all.